Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate all the support. Love you. Good morning. Why was that the sign off? What? Good morning, Minneapolis. Yeah, it's so early, it's dark out, baby. Check that out. Thank you so much for tuning in to Good Morning Minneapolis. I'm your host, Toussaint Morrison, and this is a production of Onsite Public Media. Thank you so much for tuning in. The only way to keep this show going is to have folks like yourself support. So if you want to support the show, become a monthly member of Onsite Public Media and click the link below. It's been a minute, but we promise we'll be here at least weekly. We've been on a little hiatus, filming residents, interviewing candidates, press conferences, and a lot of other stuff. But we're back, and we promise we're gonna be here at least weekly. Yes. In obvious news today, the Minneapolis Police Department has removed their "All Are Welcome Here" signs from their barbed wire fences now that the DOJ is in town. We're late on this. I know we are, and I still feel it's important to point out what happened a few weeks ago. And the film came out on September 28th when the mayor of Minneapolis held a press conference outside of a community landmark Shiloh Temple to address community safety and law enforcement. It's no mystery. The mayor has been in staunch opposition to Question 2, upcoming on the city of Minneapolis's ballot, that would create a Department of Safety, reforming law enforcement, and eliminating the minimum staff requirement of police officers here in Minneapolis. Before young man Jacob could finish his presser, he was met with this.
I think that it's important for you to be careful to stand in front of God's house and make promises next to an anointed member of our community as if there's going to be a great change.
This already has the makings of just an epic trailer for an epic movie. Can you see it right now? White Man Interrupted, starring Mayor Gentrify.
That's not going to happen. We're going to see you again in the next some years if you elected, making the same promise. You can't keep saying the same thing and doing something different to better your future when you retire.
I'd like to interrupt your interruption. I'm going to let you finish, but that's actually what he's been doing the whole time. Making promises and then breaking them. He promised to end houselessness, and now we have the highest houseless population in the history of Minneapolis, but his voter base in Kenwood doesn't notice that. So to them, he's doing a great job. Continue.
Where's the job market at, man? Ain't nobody... I didn't interrupt you when you was talking. I respect you, and I'm hoping that you'll do the same for me.
The grace of this black man. The grace to read the mayor for filth, also to have to demand respect while he's doing it, also asking kindly to not be disregarded as purely angry or enraged. The grace. You see, this is like the black experience concentrated in one brilliant moment, unintentionally brought to you by Boy Fry. Not only do we have to wait for our moment to be heard in speaking the truth as black people, we have to defend our right to even speak and do it in an eloquent enough way that no one feels threatened at the same time. We here at Onsite Public Media believe that interruption was not only necessary, but well-deserved after the mayor's career of failing upward, failing communities, and holding a press conference to convince a community he's failed already that he's not failing. The footage is from a September 28th post from Black Press by Georgia Fort. Thank you to them for capturing that moment for all to see. Now, while the mayor was busy taking an L on the north side of Minneapolis, the North High Polars football team was busy getting the W in southwest Minneapolis. This was on October 2nd for Southwest's homecoming. However, it wasn't without controversy. Several public social media posts were made soon after the game regarding a racially charged incident that occurred on the field. We were recently able to interview an anonymous source close to what occurred that day. The interview went as such. Question: what were you told that happened during the football game? Answer: a North High player told one of the coaches that they were called the Nword by the Southwest football team. The referee then told them to continue playing. Question: how does this news make you feel? Answer: it's sad, because in light of all that's happened during the pandemic and the racial violence that has continued against brown and black people, I just feel everything happens for a reason. And it does not matter which color the student was that said this word, it does not excuse it. Question: do you believe that Southwest Minneapolis, having predominantly white neighborhoods, has something to do with what happened on the field that day? Answer: it's a bigger issue than Southwest Minneapolis. This is not the first time that this has happened for our team. This is an issue that needs to be addressed on a large scale. We need to teach our kids why that word is not acceptable. Question: do you worry the self-esteem or emotional foundation of the North High football players will be affected by this? Answer: yes. The reason is because North High Polar football teams, we've always had to take the higher road. We have seen things on the field when we knew things should have been called on the field. At Southwest, we had at least 14 penalties, and they had at least 5 penalties. We've had to deal with this every game. When a North High player was horse-collared in the game and sent to the Hennepin County Medical Center, there was no penalty called. For other schools, when they tackle our players, the other team will stand over them and talk trash. They treat us like this because of how we're portrayed in the news. And the stats in the football games show that we are always given more penalties than other teams. The Minnesota State High School League needs to look at the stats from 2019 and this year because it has happened disproportionately for a very long time. Our players should be able to compete in games and not be called the N-word and feel like that's all who they are. Investigations are being held by both schools, Southwest High School and North High School, and they are currently ongoing. We're recording this on Wednesday, October 13th, and by the time this episode releases, they could have concluded. However, regardless of the investigations, this is not the first time that this has reportedly happened to the North High football team. This is an ongoing cultural issue that you think people would understand by now, living in the epicenter of an international uprising against racism. Speaking of troweling out ignorance on stolen land, the Minnetonka Moccasin Company has issued an apology. The multi-million-dollar shoe empire, formerly known as the Minnetonka Moccasin Company, they dropped the word moccasin back in 2008 and have largely gone by Minnetonka since then because the company is owned by Dave Miller and Joy Miller-Schurer, white people, not indigenous. White people who are not indigenous making millions off of shoes, some of those being moccasins. You see where this is going and highly problematic. You figured if they dropped the word moccasins from their business title that they would also think, wow, man, maybe we shouldn't be making millions off of indigenous culture as white folks. The Strip writes, Minnetonka deeply and meaningfully apologizes for having benefited from selling Native-inspired designs without directly honoring Native culture or communities, the company said in a statement. Benefit, it's such a soft word. And I feel like they could have turned it up a notch and said, profited millions from appropriating a culture that white settlers conned and murdered out of their land. Also want to point out Native-inspired designs, how they phrased that. I mean, it's a great phrase for a poor business model, stolen, thieved, took without asking, just like the land. Yeah. It's also important to point out that the Minnetonka moccasins are manufactured in the Dominican Republic and China. 0.2% of Minnetonka's demographic makeup is Native American, according to the 2010 census. It could be lower by now. And the company still hasn't taken the word moccasin out of their URL. Lastly, Minnetonka has hired an Anishinaabe artist and a member of the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, Adrian Benjamin, as a reconciliation advisor. And that'll do it for us here at Onsite Public Media's Good Morning Minneapolis. Thank you so much for tuning in. We truly appreciate you. We really do. We can't keep this show going without you. And if you're not a monthly member, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing the video. If you want to become a monthly member, click the link right below. So thank you so much. Also, don't let me forget, small businesses, local businesses. If you would like to become a sponsor of this show and have us film a fancy schmancy commercial for your business, well, you can email us at onsitepublicmedia@gmail.com. That'll about do it for us. We out of here, man. Have a good morning, and always know our work is never, ever, 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 ever done. Later.